Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Elizabeth Elaborates. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm going back to my roots today because I just want to read my favorite poem. It's called Desiderata by Max Ehrman, and he has a lot of desideratas. I think there's desiderata of joy, of love, of something else, whatever, of life. And my mom shared this poem with me like years ago, and it really actually got me through like a lot of things in life. I have it plastered on my wall, and she got me this big fancy printout of it for Christmas one year. And I just feel like I haven't read it in a long time, and I've been reading essays and poems and other forms of literature besides books, and it just reminds me that everything is coming up short in comparison to my love for this poem. And it is not the fanciest poem ever. It is very plain, and that's kind of the style of poetry I love, but it just feels like your grandpa or your grandma is just like sitting down with you and just telling you like, hey, life all works out in the end, it's going to be okay. So without further ado, just sit back and enjoy Desiderata by Max Ehrman. And I'm just going to read it right off my wall. Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. There was a time that I could not read that poem without getting choked up and just crying about it. And I think it's just like the never failing optimism of this poem that there is always something good at the end. Like you will persevere and you'll push through it. And I think what just made me think of it this morning is I'm been memorizing this quote from Theodore Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts. It is not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles where the doer of deeds could have done better. I have this also on my wall. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly and errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcomings. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievements, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while doing greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. So that quote is also relentless optimism, like even failure is a good thing. And it just kind of made me think about the Desiderata poem, because especially in Desiderata in the last, like the way it's split up on my poster is like three sections, so I guess maybe 3 stanzas. But especially the sentence, many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Just a truer thing has never been said. It's just a fact of life. And then beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. Whether or not it's clear to you, life is unfolding as it should. It's just like we're just a recipient of life almost. Like we get this idea in our head that we are so in control of our own life and we are so important in steering its direction. And we are. We are the master of our fate. But in some weird way, all I can think about is that like life just occurs and we are simply witnesses and participants in it. And I've always said this, that life is just a river. I've been saying this since I was like a child. Life is just a river and I'm just flowing down it. And I never had this like crazy desire to like steer that ship and change direction or go upstream or downstream, whatever it is. It's just like things just happen. You just have to go with the flow. Like maybe that's a defense mechanism or maybe it's like the right way to live life, but there is just nothing you can ultimately do to control things. And I say ultimately in the true sense of the word, like in the end. At the end of all of this, how much did it matter? And it does. Your actions do matter. It steers the course of your life. It really every day, in every little decision, like what you do impacts the future. But you're never going to control the options that are coming to you, I don't know. Maybe this is like my existentialist where it's just like, I don't know. It's just the best advice for life. And every time I read it, it just hits every single point. And it just reminds me like, this is the truth. This is what's actually happening. And it just redirects me. The same with the Theodore Roosevelt quote, where it's not the critic who counts. I'm on this thing right now. I think I'll make it a separate episode maybe. But like, I want to be the best at failing. I want to be the best failure in the entire world. And I want to be so good at it that the next time I fail, it doesn't throw me off. The next time I want to do something, that the fear of failure has no impact on my actions because I don't have any fear of failure. And that's stemming from, I think, my anxiety, which is like weirdly a lot. And I don't, like, I shouldn't be an anxious person. You know what I mean? Like everything in me should make me not anxious, and yet here I am. I'm not sure how much of that ramble I'm keeping in or not, but I hope you enjoyed. This is how actually the first couple videos that I posted on this channel was just me reading poetry, because I was coming off of TikTok where all I did was read poetry, and I'm getting back into it. I feel like I used to read poetry so much when I was younger, and I just like kind of haven't much lately. But it's definitely something that I love and want to get into. And I've been trying to write more poetry, which ends up becoming music because now I'm trying to learn how to play guitar. But I'm going back to my roots. So that's all for today. Hope you have a good one. Like and subscribe and go read Desiderata.